Mickey and Matt, yeah, they're cranking it up. Jumping down theories like a hyperactive pup. Rambo Joe lit the fuse, Dave said take control. Now we're broadcasting live above the rabbit hole. Ancient aliens, lizard kings, government plots and shadowy things. Laughing while they're chasing the truth in the dark. Are we crazy? Sure, but that's the spark. So smash that like button, buckle in tight. We're going down deeper than a cue drop tonight. 10 for shining, the jokes are rolling. Hold on folks, the truth is scrolling. Yeah, smash that like button. Welcome to the show. We're live above the rabbit hole. Mickey's on the mic, dropping jokes like bombs. Matt's taking notes while he's reading the songs. Bigfoot, chemtrails, a man in black. Whatever you believe, it'll make you laugh back. Was it real? Was it stage? Was the moon landing fake? Ask the boys, they know the code. Or at least they'll improvise an episode. Smash that like button, let the madness roll. Welcome to the wild side. Above the rabbit hole.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night. Wherever you are in the world, Matt, here we are.
Above the rabbit hole.
I got it down now.
It's our little place in the world.
That's officially like our show intro. The way we kick it off there.
It is. It has become.
Yeah. I don't know if I like it or not. Do you?
What are our options, Mick? What are our options?
Something different. Yeah, it sounds like what was that movie or that other one? It was Good Evening, Good. It was like a movie title, and the radio or the television guy would say it.
I think you're talking about Jim Carrey in what do you call it? Right?
Anchorman?
No,
not Anchorman. Liar, Liar.
Yeah, no, it was Jim Carrey in the movie where he was on a reality TV show. Oh my God.
Oh, the Truman Show?
Yeah. I think it was a line out of that, right?
I don't know what it was.
Yeah.
But all I know is it's like hilarious and cheesy. And by the way, Matt, look, there's literally nothing. This is just wild grass right here growing on my head.
Yeah.
And yours looks so good.
It's still looking a little psycho, man, with some of the color in there. But it's getting there.
I like it, dude.
It's getting there.
Yeah. I like it. You look like a 1997 like alternative rock DJ right
Why do
now.
I got to be in 1997?
You just got that little
DJ.
bit. You got that little bit of a long flip. I wish I could do it. My hair doesn't do that. God, you're lucky. Anyway, enough about that, Matt. Today is an interesting day for us with Q School because we've had so many amazing Anons on the previous, 12? This is our 13th, 14th.
Yeah, it's a 13.
Yeah, so I wanted to talk about a lot of this stuff. And to me, one of the best, I guess the word is discussion partners on all this stuff is our good friend from 412 Productions, Adel. Let's bring Adel in.
Let's thank our sponsor.
Oh,
then
we'll
bring Adel in.
Man, I'm so bad at this.
We got to thank our friends at Goldco, who we've recently partnered with.
Yeah, sorry, Adel. They're going to give us some money eventually, so you got to wait. Go ahead.
So, gold and silver have been used as a store of value for thousands of years. They've long been considered a safe haven for asset for chaotic times. And these metals have seen empires fall, world wars, and they're still here holding value. And right now, if you go to rabbitholegold.com, you can find out how you can roll over your 401k, IRA, or existing retirement accounts into physical gold and silver, tax and penalty free.
Yeah.
And if you go to the website right now, that is rabbitholegold.com. You scroll down, fill out your information. They're going to send you this free gold and silver kit right now. And you can also find out how you can get 10% back in bonus silver or gold. That's rabbitholegold.com, rabbitholegold.com, link down in the description as well.
Every time you do an ad like that, it just reminds me of how bad I am.
Does it make you want to roll your IRA over into gold and silver?
No, it makes me want to join the IRA and fight the English government. It's totally different, man. I love when we do the financial stuff on these shows, and these guys are like, well, what you got to do is you got to take 12% of your income and you got to invest it. And I'm like, dude, 12% of my income, is $9.
Hey, by the
What am I going to do at $9,
Right.
bro?
I know, I hear you. That changes a little bit today because
Oh,
we got to thank Denise.
Denise.
I mean, what a blessing came in this morning,
It's
right?
literally angels are flying above us, and they land every now and then.
Denise with a $500 coffee that she bought us today. So
Just
bless you. Thank you. It means more than you'll ever know.
And I'll tell you, Double L 555 Lisa, every day that we've been on,
Yeah.
$10 at least.
Appreciate
Some
you.
days has been 20. She shows up at the conspiracy night. She's amazing. Her as well. So Double L, Lisa, you're
Agreed.
the best.
Thank you.
Thank you. We're just the luckiest two dudes.
She said $10 challenge, anyone?
Yeah. I like the way these people think. By the way, I thought the other day, you know what? If I was a fan of this show, I would give at least $1 a month. That'd be like $12 a year. And I've been thinking about it. If we could get the show up to like, say, 4 million people watching it, and each person only gave us $1 a month. That's not being greedy.
How much is that, Mick?
$4 million a month, man. And I think even though we split everything 50-50, I think at that point, if we could get to 4 million a month,
Is that the goal?
I'm just saying, I think at
Just
that point,
4 million a month, folks.
I think it takes a lot of pressure off.
Yes.
You think? All right, let's go to one of my favorite dudes that I've met so far, Adel, 412 Productions. How are you doing, my friend?
Mickey, Matt, thanks for having me on, guys. I'm doing great. It's
Dude,
awesome
thank
to be
you for
here.
doing this show. We appreciate you, man.
Adel, let me ask you right off the bat, 4 million a month. Is that greedy? What do you think? Think I'm being greedy?
I think that sounds reasonable, Nick. With inflation, by the time you reach that, I mean, that might be like, I don't know.
Straight to Hormuz closed, gas is through the roof. Like,
Folks, for just 4 million a month, you can feed 2 fat guys in a village in Baltimore. It's only going to take 4 million a month.
Hey, with AI music, you don't need to pay Sarah McLachlan to do a sad song in the background. You know, you could just auto create that and be on your way.
all right, Adel, for those of you meeting you for the first time, real quick, Reader's Digest version, you're a Gen 1 dude, aren't you? You're a first gen Anon. Just say it.
Yeah. I've been around. I've been broadcasting since February of 2018, following the drops.
8 years.
Yeah. Started with Patriot Soapbox, like a volunteer 24-hour live news channel. Eventually started my own thing a few months later. And there are a few branding changes over the years, but been at it 5 or 6 to 3 days a week over that period pretty consistently.
Just curious, man, because I forget who we were talking to, but they were telling us that a lot of people dropped out in 2020. Like they were like, this is, it was a tough period for the Anons. Did that ever cross your mind during that time?
No, I never even considered stopping at that point. I was a little disheartened to see how much of the audience just kind of disappeared overnight.
Yeah.
I had a pretty decent sized show back in 2020. I would average probably 3,000-4,000 people live each show. We were it would reach about anywhere from 15,000 to 30,000 people on replay.
That's amazing, bro.
Yeah, it was really cool, and I'll never forget like the couple days leading into the inauguration, we were hitting 4,000 or 5,000 people. A day or two after the inauguration of Joe Biden, it was down to like 1,500, 2,000, and it just kind of dwindled at that point.
Yeah.
And then a lot of censorship and a lot of different platform changes and whatnot, and it hasn't really ever recovered on my end. But that period of time really knocked, I think, a lot of the average viewer out of the game for a while, but they're starting to come back in a big way.
Adel, just a second here. Matt, this exploded. I don't want to let it get out of hand here. Ms. Nasera, 55, $10 rant. Love you guys. So much fun every morning. Thank you. Let's move on here. Q-Tip, always great. I see her on Facebook. Challenge, love you guys. Accepted. Hopefully money won't be issue for you soon.
Thank you, Q-Tip.
Thank you. And this one's great too, right here. Late to awake. Led Zepp's The Crunge ends with the lyrics about the bridge.
I love me a Zeppelin fan.
Has anybody heard the bridge? Song is 3 minutes, 17 seconds.
Wow.
197 seconds, by the way. 1 + 9 + 7 is Q.
That's something I never knew about Led Zeppelin. I know a lot about Led Zeppelin.
Yeah, listen to this. The bridge will be a quantum boost to Great Awakening. Thank you, Mickey, Matt, Adel, and friends. This is getting crazy here. Another $10. Claw Paul, you're the best. $10. We love you guys.
Appreciate you, Claw Paul.
Another $20 here from Jersey Nikki. Looking forward to a great show, guys. Thanks to all of you.
Thank you.
Another $20. El Mom, challenge accepted. You guys are terrific.
Oh, thank you.
Wow, everybody. Thank you. Adel, I'm giving you at least $3 out of all this because I know you had something to do with it. Hey, buddy. So when we start, Matt and I got into the Q world as you saw us come into it.
Yeah.
From day one. My original thought of Q was that you guys are out of your mind. You all need to get laid. This is ridiculous, blah, blah, blah.
We came into this very cautiously. Yes.
And then now I am watching some of my favorite broadcasters in the mainstream talk about these guys. And Jesse Waters this week has lost his mind in conspiracy world. Greg Gutfeld is an anon. I don't care what anybody says. I think the guy is in Q. I don't think he's Q, but I think he reads it. I think they all pretend that it's like this fun thing that they play with, but they're all deep in it. And it's because of what's been coming true. And what we've seen.
I mean, I think a lot of this was hurt because so many people made up their mind because the mainstream media just told you that it was crazy talk. It was all crazy talk. It was just nuts. It was dangerous. So they didn't even give it a look.
You know what it was for a while, Adel? You may not know because you're a gentleman, but Matt and I know. Remember we would work in bars and you'd see a girl and you go, oh my God, she's so hot. And then your buddy would walk up and go, dude, she's a stripper. And you go, oh, no, never mind. That's what they treated Q like. It was like the Q was like the stripper of the news world. Like it was fun to look at, but nobody wanted to marry it. Right. And now everybody realizes, yeah, Q's not the stripper, man. Q's the professor. And I think that's what's been fascinating to watch. Just fascinating.
Yeah,
and go ahead, buddy.
I would say the coverage of Q in the mainstream has been kind of interesting. First of all, it's a threat just as it is because it makes them irrelevant. If you have an entity like Q posting and using the Socratic method and really getting people to think for themselves and learning how to dig, then you don't need some dude in a with a pound of makeup and a stuffed suit sitting on a fancy news desk telling you what's true or not, right? So it's an existential threat from that standpoint. The left attacked Q pretty early and often. I mean, it got to the point where if you typed in QAnon into Google, you would see a publication from every major news source.
Warning,
right?
Conspiracy theory, dangerous.
And they would always distill it down to the QAnon theory is that Democrats are a satanic pedophile group that eats babies, right? So they took one not small, but one thing that's kind of talked about in the Q drops. They kind of sensationalized it to sound ridiculous, and they distilled it down to that one thing. So all the talk about election integrity, weaponization of government, illegal spying, and all these other. I mean, there's so many things Q gets into. Just they ignore all of that stuff, and they distill it down to this one outlandish but probably true thing.
If you don't know the whole picture of that, it sounds obnoxious. So let me ask you guys, do you think all these mainstream talking heads are they really Q now, or are they just getting like little bits and pieces of things that their people are starting to talk about? I feel like a lot of them probably need to be further educated by people who, like yourself, Adel, who have been reading these drops since the beginning and can give them the full picture of what's happening.
I mean, I think that there are some people on TV that have been reading the whole time. They know what's going on, but their bosses aren't going to let them come on and get into that level of detail on anything or even reference the drops. You read all those Q articles that I just mentioned. You know what none of them do? None of them actually show you a Q drop. None of them actually link to the Q drops, quote the Q drops. They just give you like their Reader's Digest version of what they want you to think that they are. And that's been kind of how this has been covered. Now, credit to Jesse Waters. I believe it was him. He actually did, and I don't remember when this was exactly. I want to say somewhere near 2020. He actually did like a 10-minute segment on Q, and he, for a mainstream on TV news broadcast, I would say it's about as fair as you could hope for. But other than that, I mean, it's been largely ignored as far as any of the actual substance that's in there. Yeah. It's just kind of like the same way Pizzagate was handled. Like, don't read the emails, don't get into any of the details, just trust us. This is the outlandish thing. And oh yeah, by the way, we've debunked it. How? Right. Don't worry about it. Yeah. We waved our debunking wand. It's over. And move on. One
of the interesting things, Adel, I saw maybe a month or two ago was what's the girl's name? The congresswoman. She's kind of like a tramp. Remember, she's giving a guy the hand job in the movie theater.
Oh, Lauren Boebert.
Yeah, who I kind of like her. And just as she will say shit. I thought she was kind of a bimbo. I did. I thought, all right, she's on the side, but she's kind of a dummy. And then I saw her on Bill Maher. And when Q came up and the baby eating, I got to tell you something. The way she handled it was Bill Maher goes, they're not really eating babies. And she just went like this. All I know is I've seen things and read things. Yeah. I can't say they're not. And Bill Maher, to his credit, went, really? And she went, yes.
Yeah, I think that was part of the plan to have her say that.
Well, I think what we're seeing, and maybe Adel can speak to it better than us.
They're eating babies?
Well, I think what we're seeing is that the mainstream media realizes finally that the cat's out of the bag. Nobody's taking their word for shit anymore. And now they are forced to undebunk, like Adel said. They have to go back and go, hey, I wasn't really wrong. I just didn't understand it. And now that I understand what they were doing, these aren't crazy Nazi terrorist, lunatic, white supremacist maniacs. These people want to make the world better.
Do you think they really understand, though, that the military
I think some of
has
them do.
taken control
I think Waters
of the government?
I think a lot of Fox people do. I think that hilarious dude on CNN does, the one that shows all the poll numbers. You know the guy I'm talking about, Adel?
Harry Etten, yeah.
That guy, I tell you what, I've never seen a guy so happy to shit on his own network. Am I right? Dude, he goes to the numbers and he's like, here's the thing that's not making sense. They say that Trump's falling apart. In the MAGA movement, he has 100% approval rating. 100%. And you see the CNN people just like, oh, you're watching it happen. Do you feel that? Is it happening, Adel?
I mean, you're definitely seeing more truth enter the mainstream and topics that I never thought we'd see talked about on like a TV news broadcast being brought up, whether it's to mock it or even cover it, in good faith. The fact that these are entering the public conversation is definitely a sign of progress in the right direction, where people are becoming more aware of their surroundings, so to speak. As far as the way that they cover this stuff, I don't know, what level of control or script there is in a lot of these mainstream networks, but I will say, whether it was done by design or they were kind of maneuvered into it, they've done us a huge favor in the way they've done this, because by using QAnon as a coverall for everything they disagree with and constantly bringing that up, they've created great branding for us. And as Q becomes proven true, that what they tried to do by using the QAnon as like something that triggers a illegitimate reaction in people thinking, oh, it's Q, it's not real, it's going to reverse. And then Q is going to become, I believe, known as like a very credible source of information. So all those things they said were Q right? Like now you'll be able to use that in reverse and say, oh, well, Q said
And I
this.
was just thinking, if the white hats are actually in control of the media, they may be very well read on all this stuff. All those people, right? Yeah.
I mean, if you look at Operation Mockingbird, how the CIA, infiltrated the media, depending on what level of control white hats really have of the CIA, and if they've removed those rogue actors, and you have to maybe think, okay, Operation Mockingbird from a white hat standpoint. So
I mean, and at that point, is it really an Operation Mockingbird, or is it just Operation Get Rid of the Shit? Like, it's kind of like a cleanup operation at that point, right, Adel?
Well, I mean, it is still kind of Operation Mockingbird. You're presenting like a news broadcast that's really a production of the government or the intelligence community. So you're still there's still a level of deception there. Whether it's for good intent or bad, it's still deception. And my whole thing is, I hope that we get to a point where we can lay all the cards on the table, explain to people this whole operation, and really let the full truth, of everything that's happened in the past 10 years come to light. Because I don't know if you can build a foundation on deception that really brings you into a golden age. I feel like you need truth and transparency and people to really, really understand if you want to build on something real. So while all these psyops and everything are great for kind of jarring people awake and getting people to think more critically, be more skeptical of authoritative sources and official sources and things like that, I think that there needs to be a come to Jesus moment here where everything is laid on the table and the full story is told.
I don't think anybody could disagree with that. And do you think that in hindsight, when people look back at Q, it will have its moment of weirdness, which it was in the beginning. I mean, a bunch of autistic dudes sitting in basements, reading message boards, putting clues together based on a Socratic method, based on a lot of it gematria, things like that. It is a weird way, Adel. You can understand that to the mainstream, right? That these are the people that did this. However, I've said this, I don't know how many times, and I'll keep saying it. There are so many people that are they're not war heroes as we think of them with a gun in their hand. They're dudes sitting in a room figuring out how to break the Nazi code in England. They're dudes sitting in a ship in Japan trying to figure out the tracking of the Japanese planes. These guys never touched a gun, and they did the most important work in military history, telling us where to go, when to go, what to use. That's what you guys are. You're digital warriors at the highest levels. And now that these things are coming true, what an honor to talk to these guys. Adel, what do you think when you think back on it? We'll start here, I guess. What is the thing something that to you has come true that came from Q?
Oh man, I mean, there's a lot, but I mean, I
say the future proves past concept.
Yeah.
Let's get into some of these.
I mean, the thing that I look at or that I use if I'm talking to somebody, I mean, I think Epstein is probably the easiest one.
Sure.
Q started talking about Epstein long before really anybody else was getting into that. Let me see if I can.
That's really the thing that kind of breached the mainstream. Would you say it was that recently?
Well, Epstein, the Epstein thing definitely turbocharged the conversation around the human trafficking and whatnot, which was already kind of out there in a big way due to the Pizzagate emails, the Podesta emails that already kind of brought that kind of conversation into the forefront for a period of time. Now it was quickly dismissed and dispelled by the mainstream media. But, Q shows up a little bit later, about 6 months later or so, or maybe about a year later or so. And some of the early posts get into the island and Epstein and whatnot. And over a year before Epstein was arrested by the Trump administration. So the fact that he was throwing this out there, or Q was throwing this out there that early, and then he gets arrested. And now we're looking at, this huge tranche of Epstein files and things in there. I think that that alone is one of the best future proofs past that anyone can really wrap their mind around.
That was like what, 2017 when Q started talking about the island?
So the first post was post 133. I could share my screen here.
Yeah.
You know, one of the cool things like about this whole movement for me, Matt, when you go to a guy like Adel and he does this, you can talk about it, but it's another thing to be able to point and go, look at this. So,
absolutely.
Go ahead, Adel.
Yeah, so and Epstein might have even been mentioned prior to this. I just typed in island because that was, you know, how I kind of remember this popping up. But it gets into the Saudis, the Rothschilds, George Soros, a bunch of very important things. Then you get into this: does Satan exist? Does the thought of Satan exist? Who worships Satan? What is a cult? Epstein Island. What is a temple? What occurs in a temple? Worship. Why is a temple on the top of a mountain? How many levels might exist below? And it gets into more symbolism and conversation like that, but ends with Vladimir Putin, the New World Order worships Satan. So he's introducing the idea of a satanic cult, you know, some esoteric nature to this, a spiritual battle. And it involves Epstein Island and the abuse of children, right? The most innocent among us, like destroying, you know, so he's painting this picture of we are dealing with real evil here. And, you know, using the island as a launching point to bring this narrative into the public consciousness in a more significant way. Whether or not Epstein is really at the epicenter of this, or it's more of he's more of like a marketing tool, for a lack of a better way of putting it, to drive the conversation. I don't know, but this is kind of like really where it gained a ton of traction and mainstream notoriety.
Hey, Matt, bring that third from the bottom question up for Adel. Adel, do you think WikiLeaks and Q have a connection? This is from Rubik's Cube. Do you think there is a connection between what WikiLeaks did and what Q did subsequently?
I don't know. It's hard to say, you know, what, you know, so the Podesta emails were hacked. I guess he fell for like a phishing email, which was kind of funny. And someone got his emails, they sent him over to WikiLeaks and they published them. Whether or not, you know, Julian Assange and WikiLeaks had some connection with military intelligence and they, you know, guided them in putting that out, or were the ones that obtained them and maybe sent them over. I have no idea. You know, I won't pretend to have any insider insight into that, because I really don't. But that was a huge thing though, because it really, you had something concrete that really kind of said, wow, okay, there's something dark here, you know, with the James Alefantis Instagram and some of the weird pictures there, the coded language. Like that was, I think, the first real concrete evidence of not just something like towards children that's obviously really awful and evil, but like something like really satanic and like really dark and spiritual with all of this too. Like this isn't just sick people. This is something much deeper than that.
You know, are they going to reopen that case, do you think? I mean, you know, how is that business doing in DC currently?
Comet Ping Pong, I'm honestly not sure. I mean, are they going to reopen the Pizzagate thing? I don't know. I don't know how much of that was like the pizza place, I think, was kind of used to discredit the larger picture, right? You had some idiot go in there with a gun supposedly and shoot the hard drive of their computer.
Yeah, there's no basement, and then the whole thing's debunked, right?
Yeah, I feel like that kind of thing was, or the whole, like the pizza shop aspect of it was kind of used to discredit it. But I do think that the actual crimes committed will eventually, you know, be exposed, and the people involved will face accountability. But I don't know like how much the actual pizza shop was really part of it.
There was a basement though, wasn't there? Didn't they find out that there actually was a basement? They'd been digging down there.
So my memory's a little blurry on this, but there was there was, I think, 2 different places. There was the Comet Ping Pong or whatever, and then there was like another pizza place. I think one had a basement and one didn't. And yeah, I think it was Alefantis himself mentioned something about their basement or going
Yeah,
into the
yeah.
basement. So yeah, I can't remember the exact dynamic there, but they use, I think, 2 different places to kind of obfuscate the story and kind of mislead people. And again, it's they know at that time, like when this first broke, mainstream media was still, you know, had much bigger trust in it and more impact than it does now. So they were able to kind of pull the wool over people's eyes a little easier. You know, they can kind of play these little games, and they knew at that point most of their audience weren't going to look beyond what they were being fed. You know, they're going to accept it.
Best of pizza.
Thank you. Yes,
Their neighbor.
Yeah.
Adel, as this stuff starts to unfold, and we're seeing, you know, every week there's a new mainstream media mentioning something small from these things. I want to go just the mainstream media for the last week, Matt. I don't know if you caught this. I think it was Friday night, the ICE detention center in Newark, where they're basically threatening to kill their families and the serious, like I've said this a couple months ago, and I hate saying it. I mean, they're pushing for the war. They want an armed conflict.
Wait, what are you talking about? What are you saying now?
So that, you know what I mean, Adel? Did you see it this weekend? The ICE standoff with the guys pushing them. They're
you're talking about in Jersey. Is that what you're talking
in
about?
Newark.
Yeah.
I mean, they're getting to the point now. They're calling them out, saying they're going to kill them. Somebody's either going to get shot, and this whole thing's going to snap. Somebody's going to get stabbed. One of these reporters is going to get killed.
They arrested a guy who essentially threatened to harm police.
Yes,
if they
was going to kill their
face.
family.
Yeah.
Adel, I know you're a free speech guy, as am I, and it sucks that you can take free speech and weaponize it, like standing in front of a law enforcement officer and screaming the things they scream, which is almost impossible for any human to take over and over. It's mental abuse. And go ahead, Adel.
Well, free speech doesn't mean you can just say anything you want. Like,
right.
You can't threaten a guy's family. You can't threaten to kill a federal officer. There are limits. I mean, you're allowed to express yourself freely, but you can't incite violence. You can't threaten people. You know, there is illegal speech for sure.
Yeah.
So, you know, if people are out there actually threatening these people and their families, I think that there should be some level of accountability for that. The problem is like these local governments and NDAs just aren't going to prosecute. They're not going to cooperate. You're not going to get the system to actually do its job because of politics. So that's kind of the issue there.
Yeah, and Matt, I don't know where you fall on this, but like, I'm starting to get to a point where I think we have to start encouraging citizens to defend other citizens. Like, ICE agents are citizens. They're law enforcement. Now, I'm not saying we go down there armed, but I don't see why, 5,000 people that think differently show up and stand in front of them, just like they do. They're nothing but a bunch of pussies
just
anyway.
Like the Hells Angels did for some of the.
Well, I'm just saying, at what point
they're the counter protesters.
Did you guys see that black truck driver, the trash man, go off on Antifa? Did you see it? He literally he's like, man, you're blocking the streets. I can't work. What are you doing? You're taking money out of my pocket. You're not hurting ICE.
Right.
You're hurting me. And it's starting to boil. And I mean, if you know history, it's coming.
Well,
I'm scared right now.
Well, I think that's part. Okay, so I think that's part of the issue.
Yeah.
The people that are against it, they don't go counter protest because they have jobs. They're not like these people are professional protesters, man. Like most of them are paid. They admit it. Like there's been, I mean, just even in Minnesota recently, I think it was Laura Ingraham was there talking to one of the anti-ICE protesters, and she was like, don't you have a job? And the protester's like, I'm getting paid right now. Like, just like mindlessly admitting it. Like,
they don't care.
I
think I want to start a company, I swear, called Soros Inc. and I want to raise money to protest protests.
Listen, there's already companies doing that. You know that, right? You can go online and you can, rent a protest.
You can rent a protest.
Well, it's all funded by people like Soros.
Crowds on demand. Yeah, you can.
About.
I want to start
that
my
exists,
own.
Unfortunately.
I want to start my own, and it's called the Patriot Soros Project. And people donate, and we send people out to protest the Soros protesters. I think it's a brilliant business move, but I'm not. So somebody's got to steal it from me and do it. And then all I want you to do in the website is just say, thanks, Mickey. That's it. That's all the payment I need. Go ahead, buddy.
Well, I'll just say what the New Jersey thing says to me is that, whatever deals are being cut in Iran right now, and I'm not completely up to date, but to me, I think that's about to take a back seat, and they need something else to fill the outrage news cycle, right? So you had Minnesota, and it was like this little movie they put on in Minnesota, and that was all the talk. And then once we started the military conflict with Iran, did you hear anything about ICE? Or it was just like, what are you talking? That doesn't even exist anymore. You didn't hear any of that. And then now that this seems to be dying down, it's like they're pushing for another incident. And now I guess in New Jersey.
Look at all of it, right? Let's just go back 4 months. Yeah. Ready? Here we go. Pizzagate breaks, Epstein Island.
Mm-hmm.
Then that old hag bitch disappeared. What was her name? Guthrie.
Yeah, I can't remember. Nancy Guthrie, was it? Yeah.
All the Epstein file stuff got stopped talking about in 2 days.
Mm-hmm.
Disappeared. Then we look for this bitch for 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
Then she goes away. Not just all of a sudden she didn't matter.
Yep.
Right? It was a full 100% around the clock coverage. And then the next thing happened and that old hag's gone. Right? Then we got this. Then it's ICE. Then it's Nick Shirley. Then it's Somalia. Then it's and you're just going, what? Now, like Adel's right. Then it was Iran. Now, all right, that's boring. We're just about done in Iran. All right, what's next? And I think what's happening is they're turning it all back home. They're bringing it all back home so that we can straighten it out here.
Well, this has been consistent since I've been doing this, is where you cycle through different stories or narratives that hit different pillars of society. Yeah, and I think that's by design, honestly, from a white hat perspective, because every time you go through these things, you're kind of reaching into different pockets of society, and you're waking up more and more people. You're unplugging more and more people from the matrix. So I feel like it's just like they're taking laps and just grabbing who they can as they hit each section of the track, right? And some things are bigger and blown up bigger because they're trying to grab more people that care about whatever it might be, You'll see some kind of medical scandal or big pharma scandal. Then you'll see Epstein stuff. Then you'll see immigration stuff. Then you'll see foreign policy stuff. And you just keep going and going and going. And each time you learn a little bit more about how the old guard would manipulate things and the corruption behind why it is the way that it is. And you get a little bit more from the white hats as far as potential solutions and how to fix it. And then it disappears because they got who they were going to get that time around, and they let that all fester, and they move on to the next thing, and then they circle back again with a little bit more intensity, and they grab a few more people, and it's just going to build until you hit a critical mass and a tipping point.
They continually have to manufacture that outrage, right? So it's like, how long can you be mad about this one thing? You know what I mean? It's like after that's kind of worn down on your emotions and it's not quite as sensitive anymore, boom, they're going to hit you with whatever else is going to spike your feelings through the roof.
100%. They want to keep people engaged. I mean, it is a business. Like, you're trying to get ratings. So if you're, once you talk about the same thing for a period of time, like, people start to, get over it. So you have to find the next thing for them to, get their heart rates up over and milk that for all it's worth. And then you move on to the next thing. But I think that what you've seen is since the white hats have kind of taken control of the narrative, you've seen that pattern that's been used against us for so long kind of be reversed, and now they're using that same pattern, but using it in a way that wakes people up and kind of gets them to exit that system and move beyond being trapped in that mainstream cadence of information flow and narrative deployment.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, Adel, let's talk about some of the things that some of the Q proofs that you've kind of prepared for us today.
Yeah, I wouldn't really call them Q proofs necessarily,
Well,
but
future
just
proofs past, I guess.
yeah, just things that Q kind of had put out there that are more relevant or becoming relevant. So there was a few things that stuck out to me. So obviously Epstein, we kind of talked on that already. That's an easy one. Iran is another one that basically from the beginning of the Q drops, you were getting a lot of stuff about Iran. And then you have why am I drawing a blank right now? Antifa is another one, the funding and all that. And we're starting to see some things come forward there. Weaponization of government and even Alex Jones and kind of some of the behavior we've seen from Alex Jones and his people.
First of all, I don't think you're speaking about me. I made a deal with the white hats. I wear what they call a purple hat. I wear a mood ring.
So Alex Jones is an interesting one. I'll start with that because I personally had some interaction here, right? So 2018, I'm just getting into this and I'm on this channel called Patriot Soapbox. Patriot Soapbox, for those of you that weren't around then, it's still up and running now, but it was on YouTube and it was getting big. It was a 24/7 live stream. Never went off the air, and it would cover news, POTUS tweets, and Q drops as they came in, and that became
like a great idea.
It was awesome, honestly. Like, you had brilliant anons that would just kind of pop in and out as they had time. You never knew who was going to be on the air when you went to listen, and anytime a Q drop posted, you instantly had a group of people there starting to decode it, read it, and discuss it in real time. So when Q was like actively posting and like you're getting like 5, 6, 7 posts an hour sometimes, that was a fun place to be hanging out and just kind of enjoying.
Yeah.
So there was a pundit from InfoWars named Jerome Corsi who started showing up in our chat rooms and decoding the Q drops with us. And we were like all really excited about that because we were all Alex Jones fans. A lot of us were red pilled by Alex Jones. And to have someone with Corsi's pedigree and background joining us was pretty cool. So he would come in and read the Q drops with us and join the conversations and whatnot. And it seemed really great. And then all of a sudden, on a dime, Jerome Corsi, Alex Jones, and a handful of other influencers all just turned against Q and started trying to discredit it and whatnot. Well, Q had told us about Alex Jones and that he's not necessarily what he claims to be or a very good guy. There's a bunch of posts about it.
Really, I've got to look at those because I was an Alex. I'm still an Alex Jones fan.
He's entertaining. I'll give him that.
Yeah,
hey,
for sure.
Guys, once again, Matt knows how many times I've said this. I will always refer to Alex Jones as the greatest news entertainer of all. He's no different to me than a pro wrestler. He is the Hulk Hogan of the Anon movement. Now, did he break more shit than most people? I give him credit, dude. He did. But he's full of shit about a lot of stuff. And that's okay.
You think?
I do. I'm full of shit about. When I say full of shit, I mean about his influence and everybody. I got off the phone yesterday. Me and Trump, we were talking, and we're gonna go into the straight over.
People used to say that about him, though, dude, and a lot of that stuff actually came true.
So
maybe I don't know.
Early on, he was cool with Q, and then when he realized people were more interested in that than InfoWars.
Well, that's what I was going to say. Was it a money thing? Was it? It was competition. Is that what
it's competition, and I think that he's not exactly like an independent media guy, which is Q kind of refers to. And I'll show you some posts here in a second. But there was one point where he was going on this rant. And he was like, "Q's great. I golfed with Q, okay, but he's not. It's not the real deal. I've got this other Anon here. We'll talk to him."
Alex Jones said that he golfs with Q.
He said he golfed with Q. I played 18 with him.
Q Burt. That's who he golfed with.
Yeah. But I mean, so anyone that really understood what Q was knew that, okay, this guy is obviously full of it and is trying to deflect in some way. But there's a lot of people that watched Alex Jones that really didn't know anything about it and weren't going to make the effort to, search beyond what Alex Jones was telling them, because he had built up enough credibility in their minds as like this truth teller, right? So anyway, Jerome Corsi really he did a lot of damage to the Patriot soapbox. He did a lot of damage to the whole Q movement. Created a lot of infighting and division. And that, I believe that was all at the direction of Alex Jones, because the two of them, like shortly after they kind of made their flip, they're sitting there doing segments where they're really throwing a lot of shade and untrue information out there, like trying to discredit Q and make us all look bad.
Right.
So I think Alex Jones is hilarious. I think Alex Jones, like you said, he's a great entertainer. His memory, ability to recall and riff is second to like none. Like the guy doesn't need a script or notes or anything. Like he can tell you a statute from 50 years ago and how it relates.
Yeah, no, he's
and I think he has a gift of being able to take information, a ton of information, and put it all together and translate it well.
He does.
I think it's part of his gift.
It's part of his gift for sure, and it's very easily weaponized against the movement, the America First movement, because what he does is he takes maybe 85 or 90% of really good true information, he bundles it up with 10% bullshit and puts a clown mask on and presents it. So
bingo.
He gives his opposition the tools to mock him, and through him mock the rest of us. Enough wrong things to discredit him. And then again, he's gotten big enough to where he's got the name recognition. So when I try to have a conversation with somebody I know in good faith and I say something, you'll be like, oh, that sounds like that Alex Jones guy. And then that's it. The conversation's over. Like I'm now in the same bucket as an Alex Jones.
I'm picturing Alex Jones as a clown now.
Yeah.
That's right. I'm available for birthday parties, children's birthday parties.
And then you also got to think about, if you believe in the karmic nature of it all, and like the like I said, like the spiritual nature of it all, where if you're one of these bad guys, a black hat, so to speak, you have to disclose your plans before completing them to clear yourself karmically. So you have to have, whether it's through entertainment, movies, or maybe even Alex Jones, where he's telling you all this stuff, but then doing it with the clown mask on. All right, well, we've disclosed a lot of true stuff. So now if they don't do anything about it, they've consented to whatever damage we're going to inflict.
Yeah,
so
I never understood, Adel, the point of them having to tell us until recently, which is that in their mind, they're saying, hey, we showed you. We told you who we were. You guys didn't do shit about it. That's your fault. Right? That's really what it is, isn't it, Adel?
So I think that there's a much deeper, more esoteric level to all of this, right? Like you think about like I said, like the spiritual nature of all this. I think that there's like an occult school of knowledge on this planet that understands why we're here, like the nature of reality. Like they understand beyond just like the physical realm way better than we're allowed to, right?
Yeah.
And I think there's a set of rules that good and evil play by through us, and that there's leaders on each side that kind of understand this and how this game has to be played. And I feel like when Q gets into like the stuff about worshiping Satan and the cult, like he's referring to that. Like these people are the head of something bigger, but they are playing by some set of larger rules, right? And they're trying to abide by that so that they can try to win the game. That's kind of the way I look at it. It's a chessboard, but there are certain ways you can move your pieces and certain pieces you can move. And so I really think that you can kind of carry that analogy forward into what we're looking at now. But we are the chess pieces. You guys are chess pieces. I'm a chess piece. We're all chess pieces. Like we're pawns most likely, right? But you look at some.
I think it's worse than pawns. We're the board. They're just they're playing all over us. They just move where they want all over us. And finally, if you follow the Q logic, the right people put up with enough shit for long enough and just said, done, game over. We're cleaning this all up. I mean, when I think about it, like when you're talking about how it all ties together, like Alex Jones pulled it all together. You know, you go from the Rothschilds to the banks to the military to everything, and next thing you know, you got gay frogs, and it's terrible, right? But at the end of the day, like you said, whatever percentage of that is the truth, when it's presented by a guy like that, and they're able to clip one or two things off of his wings that aren't true, then everything else he said gets doubted.
Yep.
And I think that's why we are seeing it now coming backwards. So in other words, Alex Jones threw it out there. He threw it out to the mainstream media, and all of them, oh, Alex is crazy. That nutty Alex, right? Bohemian Grove, that's a bunch of old rich dudes doing weird stuff. Nobody cares. Over years, people start going, hey, a lot of that shit he said turned out to be true. Now we have to throw it back to the people. The mainstream media have to go, they're not going to say Alex Jones told us. They're going to say Greg Gutfeld did, or reported on by ABC News, Discovery. Alex did it all, but he did all this other shit, like Adel's saying. That 10% bullshit is what ruins the 90.
I think that's what.
Yeah, I guess, but nobody. This guy's putting the pieces of the puzzle together. I mean, you can't. Even the Anons in this movement will tell you they're not 100% right all the time, and everybody has their opinions.
Sure.
That's just Alex. You know what I mean? You're right, and he put everything out there, and the guy was wrong every now and then. What are you going to do?
Well, I think that's part of the way Q was delivered to us, and one of the lessons that we're learning through all of this is focus on the message, not the messenger. Take everything with a grain of salt and look into it for yourself. And I think the very nature of Q was just kind of always showing us to do that, because where was Q? He was on an anonymous message board, right? What those 4chan, 8chan, well, I didn't spend a lot of time on there. The culture was there. You didn't attach a personality to anything put. Everything was content driven. So a post, you don't know who made it. So you can't focus on, oh, this person said that. I don't like this person, so I'm going to read this in a different way. All you had was what they
information
said. Yeah. So that was the only thing to critique. And I think that was part of the reason why those places were chosen to do this, was because you could eliminate all of the cult of personality aspects of things and really focus purely on the content of what's being said. And that really helps, I think, the best information carry forward. So I think that's one thing that we really need to work on as a whole, is to separate the message from the messenger whenever we can. Just because someone's right 9 times doesn't mean they're going to be right the 10th time. Just because someone's been wrong 9 times doesn't mean they're going to be wrong the 10th time. Anyone can deliver something that's true, but sure. and we're given the tools by our creator to discern and sort through that. But we have to be willing to invest the time and energy to guard against being deceived and led down the wrong path. So I think that's part of what we're going through right now, is learning that there is no one person that you always trust on anything. Even President Trump, he'll truth and he'll put stuff out there that you might not agree with or whatever. You could see why it's moving people and getting conversations going in different directions, but there's still enough there to where you're like, I need to look into this for myself. President Trump said the COVID-19 vaccines are great. Operation Warp Speed was this great medical miracle. I didn't run out and get the vaccine. You know what I mean? I still looked into everything myself. I went and looked at a number of different sources, and I made a decision beyond what just this one person said. So I think that it's a big part of this is, analyze the content of the message and try to separate your feelings for the person saying it as much as possible.
One of the main things that I feel like when I watch this stuff, and as I've learned more and more about Q and more about the Anons like yourself, Adel, the ones in the beginning, I always I think what Rambo and Dave done, they consider themselves, second generation. Mm-hmm. It's amazing what they did. But what's more impressive to me, it's not how far into the matrix or whatever you want to call that these guys have gone. It's the fact that you guys cracked it. You guys understood what was being done in real time. That, to me, is the true blessing of all of the Q stuff. is the very beginning, the infancy of it.
Yeah, that must have been a tough time to just take these drops that to most people made no sense, and to be able to decipher those things. I mean, you know, yeah, I mean, you need somebody with that kind of, like I was just saying, that kind of gift that Alex Jones, I think, has. A lot of the Anons have that as well. They're able to take all these pieces and decipher it and put it together. And that is, especially at a time when you were being criticized as well as this ultra insane movement, right? This far right wing insane movement.
I mean, that was a badge of honor to most of us. Like the more they attacked us, the more we knew we were doing a good job and kind of exposing things. So the criticism and the attacks from the mainstream, that all honestly, that all kind of was gas in our tank to keep going. As far as the deciphering it all and figuring it out, I mean, they're very smart in the way they did this. They went to the places where they knew the most. Where there are talented researchers and skeptical minds, right? People that would challenge, and through their skepticism and challenging would end up proving Q to be a legitimate source of information. And then also be able to take that Socratic method and unleash these people, kind of focus them down different paths of research that they could build a picture, as Q said, like a map of what was going on. So it was challenging at times, you know, to make heads or tails of some of this stuff. And obviously, like there still is now, there are disagreements about what one post meant from one person to the next. But overall, I think most people were just kind of excited to potentially see something being done about all the corruption and nonsense that had been going on for so long, and to see some kind of real communication from the top of like the government food chain to the truther community. And you know, that yes, a lot of the stuff you guys have all been looking into for a long time is real, but there's no reason to be nihilistic about it anymore. Like right. Something's being done, and I think that was awesome. Like that was a huge boon. Yeah,
it would be like, remember if you had a friend and his, you know, you had a buddy, right? And it's a weird analogy, but just hear me out. And your buddy had a girlfriend, and you knew the girlfriend was cheating. Mm-hmm. Right. You would go to your friend and you'd be like, look, dude, there's a problem with your girl. She's cheating. And then you show him how. And then he has a choice. He either goes, you know what? My friend is trying to help me and just showing me things that will help me make this decision. Or he flat out denies it and he keeps participating with a person who's not faithful and honest. And I feel like when you break it down, that's really how. And look, even with my buddy, I might get a day wrong. I might go, listen, all last week she spent the night with him. Well, Wednesday she didn't. But Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, she's with the guy. But Wednesday she wasn't. So am I a liar? Am I a liar? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
and
it's a good analogy.
And I really think that when you start realizing that this isn't news, like Q isn't news, right? Maybe I the way I think about it, I don't think the Q guys wrote it as a story. They wrote it as facts. Like, you figure out the story, guys. Am I right, Adel, or am I way off here, bud?
Q was a back channel of information, first and foremost. Like, it was communication. So that, I think, was the biggest thing. It was more, again, I've used this analogy before, and maybe even the last time I was on the show, but I'll use it again because to me it's the best way I can describe how I pictured it. I looked at the truther community online as a bunch of ultra talented musicians all playing a different song, right? So it's a lot of noise, right?
Everybody solo.
Q came in and he was like, wow, this is really so much. There's a lot here. They need a conductor. They need someone to guide the melody and the rhythm and everything and make a beautiful piece of music. So Q came in and was like, look, you guys are all talented. Focus here. Okay. Yeah. Why is that like that? Maybe then focus here. And why is that like that? Maybe then focus here. And before you know it, now you have researchers and diggers, bloggers, memers, broadcasters, people that are just have tons of different skill sets, all kind of in unison. Like, it starts on the boards, people asking the questions, interacting with Q. doing digs, then people take that and research, and then memers get a hold of that and start making memes. They start going on, Twitter at the time or YouTube and putting this stuff out there, and then other people grab it and they start broadcasting and putting their little spin on it. And before you know it, you've got this ecosystem of independent media that kind of spawned from this conductor, kind of grabbing hold of all these different people.
That was really the point, wasn't it? Was
Yeah.
to create this digital army, this network of information.
Yeah. I mean, that was exactly it. And it was that. Today, I think it's more of like an anchor or like a rudder to keep the ship steady, like when a story breaks or something that you want to react emotionally to. A lot of times, if you just go look at the Q drops, it was already mentioned. It's fine. Like there's a plan. Trust the plan. Don't get out over your skis or emotionally overwhelmed on any one thing. Like it's meant to, I think, keep things stable and keep us reassured that things are where they're supposed to be. Even beyond the post being live.
Yeah. Shout out Matrix Codebreaker, by the way.
I'm getting ready to say that.
field.
Yeah, MQB in the room. And that's the thing. These guys, Matt, that have these minds like they do, right? Like a guy like Adel, even. Matrix Codebreaker, I mean, I don't know how that guy falls asleep at night. He's got to be, I mean, he's literally has to be counting his blinks until he falls asleep. But a guy like Adel, for instance, fascinates me because there isn't any, whenever I listen to him talk, your calmness and your resolute approach to this is what makes, I think, a great communicator, where you're taking the heaviest shit you can imagine, right? And by the way, earlier in the show, I want to go back when I said, they're eating babies. And that wasn't the thing that, what's her name said, the Bobert. It was the adrenochrome. That is where she said in the Epstein files, listen, I've seen things. I've read things. I'm just telling you, you can't laugh it off. It's enough there to make you go, huh? I sleep fine, fellas, says MQB. But Adel, when the way you're doing it, man, it makes it so easy for guys like Matt and I who are truly trying to learn. And Joe, Rambo, Dave, all those guys, all you guys, you have a sense of calm about it, which I find to be so endearing.
Yeah, that's part of it too, though, isn't it? Isn't it like you're taught to just check your emotions in all this, aren't you?
Yeah, and that's definitely, I think, why we were kind of leveraged by Q, is to be like that steadying force through all of this, because when you go on X right now, especially when the Iran thing was popping off, you had a lot of people that were MAGA losing their minds and blackpilling and dooming and right. Like really engagement farming, using people's addiction to being outraged over one thing or another. Yeah. And I think Q and the White Hats saw that coming, so they needed to create at least some counterbalance to that. People like Dave and Joe are incredible at it, like going back and constantly referencing the drops to create a level of confidence that this is okay. This is all part of what we're supposed to be going through.
Yeah, I see you guys like as not caught up in the whole left versus right, Democrat versus Republican thing. You guys kind of see it all happening and comment on it, but you're kind of over here. Looking at the drops and what that tells you, not caught up in the divisiveness of this left-right battle that is happening.
Yeah, it's kind of like obviously, like I can't stand the left. I can't stand the leftist ideas. Like the whole Marxist infiltration of this country is absolutely disgusting. Yeah. They've done a ton of damage, and yes, there is part of me that does get emotionally upset when I look at some of that damage, what they've done to our food, our medicine, our culture, all of it. Like it's terrible. So yeah, there is a level of anger there. Now I can put that aside and look at the bigger picture and how White Hats could take control of that left-right paradigm and use it to bring us to something more unified that actually pushes us for a better country, a better world. So I would say earlier in this, I was definitely more emotional about the left versus right thing, the further, we get into it, I can see how it's being used to kind of really expose.
I was going to say, it kind of goes above all that, though, doesn't it? It's really above. The left is being used right now.
Yeah.
See, that's weird, Matt, because I look at it opposite. I think it's below it. I think that is what simmers underneath everything is your party affiliation or your tribe, right? And what happens is, as you're down here and you're left and right, and you're an asshole, take your nose ring out. Screw you, racist guy. Oh, screw you, you transgender freak. Oh, screw you, you Charlie Kirk loving moron. All this stuff happens here. Then Q comes in and goes, hey, you realize there's assholes on both sides of this, that you guys are fighting over the things that your own side is doing.
Yeah, we're saying the same thing, Mick. I think is that there's money above of both of those parties feeding that.
Yeah, but I think
it's coming from a different level. Is all I'm saying.
The way the Uniparty was constructed was kind of brilliant by the bad guys, right? Because they took things that were common sense and they kind of divvied them out to each party. Like the Democrats had more common sense immigration up until President Trump, right? The Republicans had more common sense when it came to like government spending and things like that. Democrats were more anti-war, supposedly. Republicans were more military industrial. So like they kind of divided out things that would grab one person or another. And what the brilliance of the Trump administration and the Trump platform is it took all of the best ideas from both parties and made one coalition out of it. And yes, they've used the Republican Party as a vehicle for that, but in doing so, how many rhinos have exposed themselves, right? Like how many times have you seen establishment Republicans siding with Democrats to stop a lot of really popular ideas that both sides actually agree on?
Adel, the Massey thing to me is just like, it doesn't even make sense. Like you're literally a Democrat now. Like what happened to you?
Well, yeah, I mean, it shows like how these people are disingenuous with anything, Thomas Massey. I don't know like the whole like what that guy's deal is, if he's an actor or like a legitimate like shill or whatever, but like this guy claims to want all these things. President Trump is the only president moving us in that direction, but he grandstands on like his perfect view to vote against any actual progress towards it. Right. It makes no sense. And then
I need all 12 steps before I can take the first.
Yeah. We're at A, we need to get to Z. He won't vote for anything less than Z. President Trump's like, well, this will get us to the middle of the alphabet. He's like, well, that's not good enough. So we're going to stay at A. It's like, what the fuck are you doing? Sorry, excuse my French. But
this show, it's allowed.
Okay.
But this show's already going to hell is what Mick is trying to say.
Yeah. So and whether he's playing a role or he's just a legitimate grifter, I don't know. But I'm glad to see his character out, and he never said a word about Epstein until he thought it could hurt Trump to start, bringing up the Epstein list and all that. Like he was in government for a while, all through the Biden years, not a single word about the Epstein list, and all of a sudden, like he's like the champion of this thing. Like, give me a break, man.
I think what really happens here, and I don't know this is pure speculation. And in my opinion, I think a lot of these guys like a Thomas Massey are caught. They're being dealt with. And at the end, I think they're told to do it, to embarrass them and shame them. Where's that guy going to land? You think the Democrats are going to embrace Thomas Massey? Like not a shot in hell. And he's done in politics now. That's how you deal with these people. You're done. Go away. We're done with you. You had your chance. And I think, everybody keeps saying, I've heard a lot of people saying, if Trump doesn't fix this war, Democrats are going to, they're going to sweep in November. It's going to be brutal. Governors, senators, congressmen. And I'm like, is anybody paying attention? The left they don't have a leader. Hakeem Jeffries is leading that party. That guy couldn't lead an Eagle Scout troop. He's a moron. Like, and I don't understand what people think is going to happen.
We think they don't have a leader, but unfortunately, there's a lot of people on that side that think they do. You know, I saw,
Good.
No, I'm just saying they're going to get votes from people. Like some of those people are going to get votes. I watched this post on Facebook a while ago, and they were talking about it was a left-leaning person saying, "Who do we have? Who are our leaders? Who would you vote for?" That kind of thing. And I'm watching this post, and they're bringing up, AOC, and they're bringing up, what's his name, governor of Minnesota. What's his name?
Douchebag. Tim Walz.
Walz, yeah. I mean, talking about voting for all these people, they would vote for all these people. So,
well, I mean,
what I think what we're learning and what we're going to continue to learn is that the Democrat Party, especially over the last 10 years or so, and probably even longer, is largely the power or the popularity or whatever you want to call it is largely smoke and mirrors, right? And you're seeing their toys being taken away from them step by step. So
what happened is I'm sorry, Adel. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was gonna say, I mean, you look at the voting machines and the election fraud, that we've seen. There's how many Democrats are in office due to that alone. You have your race-based gerrymandering, which just got struck down. I mean, that's a 12-seat swing or something like that, even bigger, depending on how hard Republicans, take every state to court and really get a fair maps. I think that you could see a big swing. The census, my God, the census. Are you kidding me? They're counting illegals and non-citizens in the census for apportionment. So you're getting electoral votes and you're getting House reps based on a count of people that aren't even supposed to vote or have any say in this country. So what have we seen? The race-based gerrymandering taken down. That's a big swing. Just people leaving blue states alone is going to be a 14 electoral vote and swing and House seat swing in the 2030 census. And that's if they continue counting immigrants. If they stop and counting immigrants, who knows what that number is going to be? You're probably going to see even bigger swing to the red states. So they're about, and if you take away the voting fraud, they're gonna. Well,
I was gonna say, do you think this SAVE Act is going to get passed?
I don't know. I think a big part of this SAVE Act is exposing the filibuster and how that's been used to kind of stall any actual popular legislation from getting through, and just the functionality of it alone, to where they're not even filibustering. They're calling it a filibuster, but they're not filibustering. They're not up there talking and killing time. Like, they're just able to, it's ridiculous. Like, they don't have to be on their feet and actually working. And it's also, I think, exposing, again, the uniparty, right? You have 80% of the country, give or take, I've seen 100 different polls. Let's just say 80% of the country that wants something, yet you can't get 51 people to push it through. This is supposed to be a representation. This is supposed to be it's the first article, right? Is the legislative branch. It's supposed to be our direct tie to governing ourselves, like the closest people to us that we're supposed to have influence over. And we have 80% of people that want something, and they're stopping it. They're not letting it through. So are we being represented or are we being ruled? Because I don't feel represented when 80% of people want something and we can't get a simple majority to get it passed.
80? I hope it's 80.
It's 80%, number one.
Yeah.
And number two, Adel, I've said this forever. If voting mattered, they wouldn't let us do it. And we're learning it. We're learning it. And it's time we make voting matter again.
I agree.
So for all these years, this is the deep, ugly part that no one knows. 90% of the time in big elections, Senate, Congress, President, both sides have been approved by the people really in charge. They don't care about party because they represent both sides. If you just look at the simple money financing governments in Europe, the banks were one bank. They financed both sides of the war.
Sure.
They don't care who's fighting as long as they're fighting. So the idea of getting all of us collectively to pick who we want goes against the very system that they operate over. And until we just find, like Adel said a million times, This is not a representative government. When 80% goes yes, and the elected people go, you don't know what you're talking about. Well, we don't know what we're talking about. Another man just won a female sports competition yesterday. A man with makeup on and fake tits. A man with fake tits and makeup just beat a bunch of women. And here we are being told that's the party that's going to lead us out of turmoil. Like, forget Q for a second. Just think about absurdity. Think about insanity. We are being led or told that the party for us believes anybody can come in the country, that a man can compete against a woman in sports. And don't tell me anymore that this is hyperbole, that I'm just breaking one or two examples. I'm not. This is what people are protesting over. People should be able to come here legally. Men can be women. Women can be men. Men can have babies. It's a pretend world that has now gotten so ridiculous that we're in the position we're in. Because none of the adults stepped up and went, hey, here's an idea. Shut up. Shut up. Nobody's listening. If your feelings are hurt, go cry. Just go cry. That's what you're good at, crying. Change your piercings and shut up. How long do we keep doing this? When does shut up become a viable response to these people? Shut up. I'm not listening.
It's already getting there. I mean, they're able to do this because they were a loud minority that were able to capture the megaphones, right? So they were able to project a much larger influence than they actually had, or bigger numbers than they actually had. And using the NGOs, like, and people like George Soros to fund these public displays, with the pussy hats or the all the professionally made signs and the paid protests and all these things. Like, they're able to put on a front like they are the majority and the will of the people. And that's why Q and President Trump have mentioned silent majority. Like, those people aren't. But the people that are against them, we're not going to be out there making fools of ourselves like that. Like, we have jobs, we have lives. Like, we go about our lives in a different way. We're not militant. We're not trying to control everybody. We just want to be left alone. And I think that's like the big disadvantage of being a patriot is you really don't want to inflict your will on anybody. You just want to be. You want to have your liberty and your freedom. So the left is all about control and domination. So they will organize and try to shout you down. Yeah. Whereas the right, like, they want to be left alone. They want to leave you alone. And unfortunately, you're going to lose ground when that's the two opposing philosophies. Here's
the real scary part of that whole point you're making, Adel, is you're right. The right sits here and goes like this for years. Okay, whatever. Okay. While the left screams and loses their mind and they're already in a panic. And what happens is eventually, and it's throughout time, people reach a point where they go, okay. And then they go, you know what? I'm back as far as I'm going. Yeah. Now I'm coming forward. And all your yelling and crying and emotional bullshit means nothing to me anymore. I catered to you forever.
Well, I think people are realizing as well that there's a whole lot more middle ground from the left and the right who thinks sensibly about a lot of these things. It's the extreme sides of this that are making the most noise, and that had people freaked out for a while because they had a lot of people fooled into thinking it was the majority. Yep. And I think now a lot of people are starting to realize, this is a very small sect of our population that's being largely funded by people to make all this noise. So it's been safer, as you say, Mick, for people to stand up and say, "This is it." I've had enough here. We don't,
and that's where President Trump really, I think, his personality and like the Teflon nature of his approach, like how nothing really sticks with him, has inspired a lot of confidence to be a little less silent as a majority. You think about it before, it's like, the left says something we disagree with. We say, well, I disagree with what you say, but I'll defend to the death your right to say it. We say something they disagree with. They say, shut up, you Nazi. I'm going to kill you and take your job, try to get you fired. Right. Sure. Yeah. So what ends up happening is people just kind of, all right, well, I don't want that confrontation. I don't really, I'll just keep my thoughts to myself. And that's how we get here. Well, President Trump comes out, like the news is fake. This person's a communist. This person's corrupt. This crooked Hillary, Sleepy Joe. Like, he just, and they try to cancel him. And he's just like, no, I'm gonna go harder and harder. And he keeps winning. And so what do we see? We see, oh shit, like we don't have to be afraid of these people. And then with
Adel, it's the greatest example of challenging the bully.
Yeah.
For years, the left has been the verbal bully. And somebody showed up and went like this to him. And just kept walking at him, and the fingers got bigger and bigger and bigger. And now, the things you're saying, Adel, are so accurate. It is literally what's happening. You have taken two sides and let one scream their head off while the other sat back going, "Look at these morons! What? Look at them! They're ruining everything, and they think they're doing right. And now they have nothing left." They've tried to shoot him 3 times. They've called him everything you could call him. Racist, misogynist, rapist, every single thing you could call a human being. They'd say he's the one in the Epstein files. Meanwhile, they had him for 4 years.
Yeah.
They tried to kill this guy.
Trumped up.
They couldn't find one photo of him diddling a little girl. Nothing. They have nothing. Right? Nothing. Even a little boy on his lap. Maybe Trump's gay. Right? That's his secret. They got nothing. They're full of shit, and it's ridiculous. And if the right, or I don't even mean the right, if normal people just don't start looking back and going, shut up. You're the conspiracy theorist now. You are literally President Trump is not a Nazi. He's not a fascist. He's an American.
Yeah, you say, what has he done that's against the law?
This is the part people forget. You know what America is? Badasses. People that told an empire to fuck right off. And if you don't like it, come take it from us. And they tried. And a bunch of redneck, farm-living hillbillies fought the world's biggest army and won. And now I got to let a dude race my daughter? Are you out of your mind? Like, who do you think you are? Who do you think you are? I've gotten to the point where forget Q, forget all of it. We're just at the point now where we're facing each other going, somebody's getting punched in the mouth. Who wants to swing first? Yeah.
We gotta send a shout to Stadium Zone 1, $20 rant. Challenge accepted. Let's keep this cue ball rolling. And Mick, real quick, let's thank our friends over at the Feel Good Protocol.
You know what's great too, Matt? Speaking of feel good,
yeah.
See all this energy I have?
Yeah, you feeling better?
Yeah, all this hate that I'm able to just bring up out of nowhere. It's all because of Feel Good. It makes me feel so good that I can hate rhythmically.
Do you know how people find the Feel Great Protocol?
Oh, I know,
Nick?
buddy. You got to go to one website. Do you know what that website is?
Being fat. How do I do that? Go to quitbeingfat.com.
That's right.
You too then will feel great, and all your hatred and anger will be well articulated, and you'll have energy and no fatigue.
Just like our friend Brad here.
Yes.
We got to get an update from Brad because this is actually from a little while ago. He dropped 35 pounds. He's going for another 15. I wonder how he's doing right now, if he would check in with us. Got his lab results from a physical, all good, and A1C is the lowest I've had in years. Was always near pre-diabetic, and now nowhere near. And you've had some great results as well, Mick.
It's unbelievable. I mean, he's talking about his A1C.
Yeah.
I'm doing so good. I actually like AOC now.
Whoa.
Yeah, no, I don't mean I like her politics. I think she's pretty now. That's how good I'm feeling, Matt.
If you go to quitbeingfat.com, you can see all the reasons that you might want to try this. There's a video there, and it also has a 90-day money-back guarantee, so you have nothing to lose, just results to gain. It is quitbeingfat.com. Link in the description as well.
Yes, and another $20 rant from M. Zimmer 369. In my opinion, the most important event to unite us all, the most important event to unite us all is the return of JFK Jr. Could be a total tinfoil hat moment, but a lot of believers. Y'all should do a show about it with Gunnels. I will tell you this. The first time I heard that JFK Jr. has been chilling and he's coming back, I swear to God, I went like this. Yeah, whatever, bro. Okay, I love you, man. But, and then it's Charlie Kirk, and then it's Michael Jackson, and it's all these people. I go like this. I don't know anymore. If JFK Jr. walks out, first thing I'm asking, what happened with you and Daryl Hannah? I liked when you guys were together. You remember he dated her?
No,
I want to
but-
know what happened there. Anyway, my point is, if these dudes are alive and this was pulled off, I'll never question anything again, ever, about Q. If they knew all this shit and they told us and it happened, don't come to me with anything else. There's nothing else matters at that point. And if it doesn't, and JFK Jr. don't show up, at least we got all the other shit fixed, I think. And that, to me, is the beauty of this whole thing.
Q never said anything about JFK Jr. coming back. People have
Right.
kind of insinuated that based on different
Yeah.
ideas and whatnot. And I don't know. I've never bought into any of that personally. I'm not trying to be dismissive or say that it's not possible, because I don't know. You know, I'm just looking at all this with the rest of you guys. But I don't. What I don't like is when people try to state this stuff as like it's definitely happening, because again, then it kind of muddies the waters for like the more easily tangible stuff that we can kind of focus on here. Like I'm not saying it's not happening or it's not possible, but at the same time, I don't think that it's a super useful place to spend a lot of energy as like the JFK Jr. return thing. Like not at this stage anyway. Yeah, that's just my opinion.
And you know what? All of that at the end of the day, if that is true, you know what that's going to do for the nation? It's going to make people go like this. Anything's possible now.
Well, 1188 said we need Elvis.
Yeah.
I'll go back to something I said earlier, just to kind of play the other side of that, as far as my initial take on it, where I said, you can't really have a foundation built on deception to really achieve the golden age of America. And if you were going to really tell this story of a fake Joe Biden administration and all these other things, like bringing back someone like a JFK Jr. or whoever, name your favorite person removed from the chessboard at this point, and bringing them back into the forefront alive. Well, that would be a pretty good way of explaining how and why, right? All this had to be done, which I hope does happen. I do think that's a necessary step.
Adel, do you think? I know the date fagging thing drives people crazy. I'd like it. I want Blue She's making a call to bring it back, and I'm kind of with them because it makes it fun. Do you think there's any significance of a major thing before July 4th, the 250th anniversary, all of that? Do you see something groundbreaking coming forward that will wake the country up to what we're all really seeing anyway?
Oh man.
I know, bro. I hate to do it to you, but I like watching you squirm. I'm not going to lie.
I just don't know, man. Like when I've been doing this again for 8 years, and I used to get caught up on timelines and stuff like that. And all I care about now is, are we making progress? Like every week when I check the news are we moving in the right direction? Are people becoming more aware? Are the stories getting closer to what we were learning about? Is the future proving past? If you want to talk the key draw, and to me, as long as we continue down the road and continue moving towards where I hope we're going, then the timeline becomes less important to me. I think that the 250th anniversary of our founding is important. I think it's significant. I think that there's probably going to be something significant that leads up to that. Maybe is it going to be the SWAT teams breaking down the doors of every member of the cabal at once, like the day? I don't think so.
I don't know.
What do you think are the major?
You do have the midterms coming up. You do have a lot of kind of loose ends that I think that if you are going to have a legitimate election and really kind of get the turnout and really kind of show a show of strength for these midterms, and kind of have a historic sweeping as an incumbent president in the midterm, you do need to, I think, have some big wins by
Yeah.
this at some point this summer. I think gas prices need to come way down. I think this Iran thing needs to be completely behind us, and a real show of peace in a region that's been torn up by conflict for a long time. I think that you need to have some kind of accountability, whether it be for the fraud or maybe like they said they've mapped out the Antifa money, or I think you need to have some kind of like accountability, red meat for the heart of the base. I think that there needs to be some things that happen between now and November. I think this summer is probably where a lot of stuff will start to take form. And then the voting fraud, right? Like they raided Georgia, they went in and got a bunch of stuff out of Maricopa County. I think that'll probably be on display in the near future, going into these midterms as well. So I think a lot of stuff is coming in the next few months. I don't know by the 4th of July, but I do think that just from a logical standpoint, with the midterms coming and that being such a big deal, there's got to be a lot of things that kind of drive the narrative and really cement that this administration is indeed being successful and working for the people. And the seagrass, as Joe and Dave and all those guys will call it, can really start to see that it's in their best interest to go and put in the people that support President Trump.
Yeah. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, what do you think the biggest?
I can't hear you guys again.
Okay.
Can you hear us?
Let him get his sound back. I was going to ask him what the biggest pieces of progress that we've seen so far in this Trump presidency.
Well, while he's trying to get sound back, I'll answer.
Yeah, I got no audio from you guys. What the heck?
I think one of the things that would be most interesting with Trump would be, I really think he has.
I'm gonna leave and come back in again. I'm so sorry, guys.
Okay, buddy. I really think that Trump has exposed Europe in a way that I don't think the world understood how weak they really are, how much they depended on us. Not one European nation.
You're talking about like United Nations.
I'm talking about NATO, all
NATO,
of it.
yeah.
Just literally not one came to our defense or help with Iran. I mean, they wouldn't let us fly over their countries.
Yeah.
Right? They would not let us fly over their countries. And now all they had to do was send navies down to help them. Can you hear us, buddy?
Yeah, I got you now.
Okay. I was saying to answer Matt's question for you. I'll let Matt re-ask it. Go ahead, Matt. Re-ask the question.
Yeah, no, you mentioned, you were happy to see the progress. What do you think the biggest, the most progress that we've made so far in this Trump presidency that gives you hope? What's the biggest progress?
The biggest progress, man. There's a lot of things you could really point to. I'll start with the Epstein thing again. I think that is such a huge narrative that is finally cracked into the mainstream in a way that I've been waiting for since 2017. Since the Pizzagate emails came out, I've been waiting for the majority of people out there to at least acknowledge this concept of elite human trafficking rings and that kind of concept. So the fact that he kind of goaded the mainstream media into covering that ad nauseum by calling it a hoax, I think was huge. You have mainstream media people talking about like not paying taxes and tax revolt and all the fraud and stuff like that. Like people, I think, understand now more than ever that your taxes aren't for bridges and roads and things like that. It's just going to crooks, thieves. The exposure of things like USAID and the NGOs and how our money kind of gets siphoned outside of the country, I think has been, people have a much better understanding of all that.
Yeah.
I just feel like as a whole, the overall level of awareness of the average person is
skyrocketed.
Yeah. Like public awakening is their greatest fear. I think that is like once the public is awake, their whole game ends because their whole game is built on ignorance and deception. So once people understand how the game works and how it was being played against them, they can't keep running that same playbook that they've been doing forever.
Yeah.
Well, one step even further, just to talk about what you're saying, the awakening part. I'm in a Dunkin' Donuts, and there's a guy in there I see a lot, and we talk, and he's a light right-leaning guy, and he likes talking politics. And so I went in and I saw him, and there was a girl standing there, and I said something to him, and he said back to me, "I know you follow that Q stuff." And the girl goes, like, turns her head and looks at me, like, kind of laughing. She goes, "You mean Q, like the QAnon?" And I go, "Yeah." And she rolls her eyes. And the guy goes, "I'm telling you, if you talk to this dude," pointing at me, "you talk to this dude for 5 minutes and follow up on it, you ain't gonna roll your eyes no more." And the girl just went, "Whatever." And then she turned and walked, and the guy looked at me. He goes, "Man, dumb just keeps getting dumber." Wow. I mean, I see it every day.
Well, with most people that say that, it's a baseless opinion.
Well,
You know,
totally.
it's because you ask them, the first question you should ask them is, well, what do you know about it?
Yeah.
Most of them don't know anything except that
Nothing.
it's a quote unquote far right
Cult.
conspiracy theory.
Yep.
Yeah, that it's just a lie.
I had a lady tell me a couple weeks ago, "That's a cult." And I go, "Maybe, but let me tell you how the cult works. You join it, then they give you money and love you and support you." I don't know what kind of cult you're thinking of, but that's a pretty cool one. If
Yeah.
I'm in the cult, I'm in.
It's the only cult that encourages independent and critical thinking and
Yeah.
discourages
And
like,
conversation,
focusing-
right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It's a pretty weird cult, but
And by the way, there's no Kool-Aid. Just
Yeah,
Q juice.
just Q juice.
Just that's all.
Freshly squozen.
And that is
Yeah.
my way of telling all those people to eat a dick. Because, like, what do you mean this is a cult? We're talking about news, stuff that's actually happening. What it's not is your echo chamber that has poisoned your mind and life for its entirety.
There's only one
Karen.
side separating people from their loved ones and friends and lifetime friends and family.
Yeah.
You know, and
I started telling my family, I'm done with you guys. If you don't believe they're drinking adrenochrome, I can't hang out with you.
right.
People. You're nuts. You're
One other-
nuts. You're
one other
denying.
area we made a ton of progress is the Maha movement has
Oh,
been sneaky
unreal.
successful, man. Like what
Yes.
that to me is that's another one of those things that even before I even got into politics, like you know, I was friends with like a holistic doctor and had a whole different view of like health and nutrition and things like that. To see some of the things being talked about now actually from the administration, it's incredible. Reducing the vaccine schedule, flipping the food pyramid, and just the fact that and I know like there was the executive order for like the whole glyphosate thing, but the fact that that made the waves that it did like shows people can see it. You know, they're really starting to understand this unholy alliance between big food and big medicine, the FDA, like these captured regulatory agencies.
Absolutely.
It's that to me is huge because once you start to really see how the big businesses in the media and then the government or the agencies within the government are all working against you,
It's that revolving door.
yeah, then all of a sudden,
Yeah.
like when you read Q, it's like, yeah, well, it kind of all makes sense.
Yeah, makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
Speaking of
Yeah.
which, Macro Toolbreaker account sent $2.
Yeah.
It said, "Here's our part. Now you only need $1 from 3,999,998 other people for your $4 million.
We're almost there, folks.
And that is from Mrs. Macro Toolbreaker. And I love you all much.
Thank you kindly.
Thank you, dear, to both of you. Wonderful people.
Yeah, and
Adel-
make sure you all sign up for the monthly recurring transaction.
Yeah,
too.
that's
Very
yes.
important. Like we're
We
not
can
looking.
stick to this $4 million a month. We can get there. Adel, how's your show doing, buddy? What's going on with you, man?
My show is like a hobby, man. I stopped taking it super seriously a while ago. It's fun. I have fun with it. I don't
You're
really have
so good, man. I swear, I was talking to Matt. No, I wasn't. I had an idea that I wanted to talk to Matt about, which was, I know our channel got very lucky because of Joe and Dave and different things. But one of the things that I'm so happy about is all these kind of people that I've met that have shows that do like the same kind of numbers as ours, and we're all in the same boat. And I was like, I wanted to take like weekends sometimes and just restream one of your shows on our channel. Just you, man. Just put your and whatever money it makes, I'll show you and give it to you, man. Like, I want to support you because I think you're one of the most important voices in this because of your knowledge and your delivery system, man. You're such a treat to talk to, man. For real, bro.
Yeah, I really appreciate that, Mickey. It means a lot, especially coming from two like pros, professional broadcasters.
Who
like
the hell are they? Who's he talking
Yeah,
about?
you guys are awesome. It was really exciting when you guys came along and started doing this because we have a lot of great broadcasters and a lot of really talented people, but you guys like come from that the world of like professional entertainment, and so to bring that skill set into this and then to be able to like come on your show and interact is really cool for me because this is definitely, and I appreciate all the compliments and it means a lot, but like I don't think of myself as a
that's why you're great at it, dude. That's why you're great at it. I don't think of myself as anything but an opinionated asshole that they let sit at a microphone. That's the extent of my talents.
I mean, if you would have seen my first few shows, dude, I was just literally reading articles to the audience.
Dude, I saw them. I found them, and I don't hold it against you. I'm kidding, man.
I mean, they were cringy as hell. So I mean, I've definitely as I've gotten better at doing this, my audience ironically has gotten way smaller,
Matt,
which is kind of
yeah. Adel, you're about to feel better, dude. Matt, what's the oldest air check you have?
Oh God.
Do you have one back in the 80s and 90s?
Maybe. Yeah.
Dude, if you would have heard us on the radio when we were 18 and 19
in the old days.
In the old days, it's like, up next is Van Halen. Right now, let's listen to Judas Priest.
I should try to find something.
Dude,
I don't know if I could survive listening to it myself.
I got news for you.
The cringe factor. I think it would kill me.
Yeah, I could.
I think it would kill me.
I could watch you die listening to it.
Yeah. I might have to dig something up.
So on my the 5-year anniversary of my channel, I went in my old laptop and I grabbed the very first video I put on YouTube for the channel and I played it for the audience and I wanted to die the entire time. Like just watching it was like, and I didn't even watch it myself until I played it live for everybody. So there was like a few thousand people just watching this horribly cringy, terrible video. That up until that point, it only been seen by like 300 people. It was the first one I did.
The very first time I ever got the program director in radio is your boss. He's the program director. So I had a program director named Dave Hill, who I was doing afternoons at the time when he got hired. And my second day, he goes, "Okay, I'd like to sit down with you and we'll listen to your show." And my right hand to God, you can ask him. This is the second day I met the dude. I went like this. "Yeah, I'm never doing that." And he goes, "What do you mean?" I go, "If you sit here and make me listen to me, I'll never do the show again." And he literally goes, "What do you mean?" I go, "I think I'm terrible at this. And you guys just keep letting me do it. When I listen to myself, I want to jump off a building. So just let me do it and walk away from it." Guess what he said to me? "I'll send you an email with some notes." I went, "You got it, buddy." The only thing I ever did from his email, I swear to you, was I learned how to reset the interview.
Yeah.
For people that just came in that don't know who Adel is, you know, and if it's not written everywhere, you just go, "All right, ladies and gentlemen, again, we're talking to Adel. Adel's an Anon, has been here since 2018. He one of the earliest guys. So Adel," and then that's called a reset. You just let the audience know who you're talking to. That's the only thing I ever did.
Yeah.
He told me he goes, "You got to check the time 4 times an hour." I went, "Listen, if somebody's listening to me and they don't know what time it is, I don't give a shit. How do you not know what time it is? It's 8 a.m. You think it's suddenly noon?" Like, it never made sense to me.
Yeah, it was back in the old days when you just had the car clock that was never right. You know?
Were either one of you those dudes that set your clock fast to fool yourself?
Always. Yeah.
Did you ever do that?
In college, just so I didn't miss
I knew
certain classes that were early. I would, yeah.
But didn't you know that the clock was
It's
8
a psychological
minutes fast?
thing, man. It's a psychological thing.
I guess. I just always said I'm not going to be late. Like, that was my way.
Yeah.
And then I was late.
I was never late.
You know how many times I was late to the morning show in 1 year?
How many?
16. And I mean, after the show started, I showed up like 6:03. I could not wake up sometimes.
Yeah.
But I was doing comedy at night too. It was nuts. Anyway.
Hey, so if you don't mind, Adel and Mick, you know, I sent you an article earlier today.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I would love to have you break this down for me. If you don't, I don't know if you've seen this. U.S. Congress moves to deepen military ties with Israel. Why it matters. This is from Al Jazeera. I haven't seen much U.S. coverage of this. Maybe I've missed it. Analysts say the plan would weave Israeli military interests more deeply into the fabric of U.S. national security policy. So this is all part of the 2027 National Defense Authorization Act, NDAA, released this week, is Section 224, the United States-Israel Defense Technology Cooperation Initiative. The NDAA, which Congress passes annually to set military policy and authorize defense spending, will undergo further debate and amendments before becoming law. Some legislators have already signaled opposition, with Representative Thomas Massey saying he would seek to remove the provision if it reaches the House floor. Now, we've always been very involved, obviously, with the Israeli military. But what do you see happening here with this?
Can you scroll up a little bit back towards the top? I just want to see if there's bullet points.
Yeah.
I'm just curious. So, just recommended stories. Never mind. Okay. I don't know what to make of that exactly. First of all, I don't know Al Jazeera. I don't know like what their connections are for one. I know it's like a Middle Eastern news source. I saw Bibi Netanyahu say he wants to kind of detach from American aid when it comes to defense and things like that altogether. They want to be more self-sufficient. So that kind of runs in opposition. I know that Congress still has a ton of Israeli influence over them, right, with AIPAC and things like that. So It wouldn't surprise me that a bunch of those guys.
I'm sorry, Adel, but I just wanted to throw this in there. Could it not be saving Israel for last? Maybe we just take over Israel's defense.
You know, I thought about that, Mick, actually. So
like Israel, we're done with. We'll be together. You can't do anything without us.
This is what they're saying that it will include. The proposal will include Section 224 incorporates elements of the U.S.-Israel Future of Warfare Act legislation introduced by Representative Ronnie Jackson, according to Track AIPAC. While the legislation did not advance as a standalone bill, key elements of it were instead folded into the NDAA. The provision would require the U.S. Defense Secretary to designate an official responsible for coordinating military cooperation between the two countries.
Maybe it's just Israel can't do anything anymore without our open endorsement of it.
And that's
go ahead. I'm sorry, Adam.
Well, yeah. So there's two ways of looking at it, right? Is one, you're going to get all the super anti-Israel people saying like, oh, this is proof, Israel owns our government. Or you could look at the other way, saying, no, this is a way that we stop Israel from continuing to destabilize the region over there and take full control over that. Like you look at something like October 7th, that kind of kicked off a lot of nonsense over there. If we were in charge of their defense, would that have been able to happen? Clearly there was a stand down order and that was all allowed to happen. If Israel wanted to stop October 7th, they would have. So will they be able to play victim through these false flags with that in place? I don't know, and if you look at it further, as far as like Israel and Iran being proxy states of City of London, then are we just ripping away the control of Israel from City of London, taking away one of their main tools for destabilizing the region, creating that Hegelian dialectic over there and allowing for all that crap? So I don't know. I'd have to look more into it, honestly. But
you look at the Israeli military as different than their deep state, correct?
Well, I mean, I think that there's probably deep state actors in all areas. Like they probably have deep state rogue actors within their military, definitely within their intelligence community and their government. I just don't know to what level that's been dealt with, yeah.
Well, I'm saying you see a difference between an alliance between our militaries versus like our deep states.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. I mean,
without a doubt.
And this is what kills me, right? Is the lack of nuance when it like Israel gets brought up and all nuance goes out the window. You're either like Israel's the greatest thing ever, or it's the Jews. They've destroyed everything. Yeah. And
the damn Jews.
But there's like, okay, half Palestinian myself. Like my family, on my dad's side, was displaced because of this conflict. We've lost land and wealth over this conflict. Like if anyone has motivation to just hate on Israel every chance they get, like I would be one of them. So I'm no fan of Israel, but I don't allow any of that to cloud my thinking to the point where I can't imagine an agenda or a situation or something that could be mutually beneficial for both America and Israel, right? Like just because we ally with Israel on something doesn't mean that Israel is making us do it. It might just be it's good for both of us, so it makes sense, right? But people can't dissect things to that level of granularity because they're so emotionally caught up in this country's bad. So if we work with them on anything, then we must be bad too, or it must be bad too. Like, and to me, that's why this has become so divisive, is because people lose any ability to see gray area or any nuance or isolate one situation from another.
Well, nuance is the great peacemaker. And when nuance is thrown out the window, you're left with right and wrong. With no nuance, then it's just who's right, who's wrong. We'll fight to figure it out. And I think the nuance, especially with the Israel-American military situation, if we do partner, basically, is what we'd say, that they would be our military in the Middle East, where it's their troops doing this stuff, and we don't have to send ours. In essence, we're controlling Israel at that point. They're not controlling us.
That's what I'm thinking. So that might be part. This is, this would be for 2027.
Yeah, and I think, saving Israel for last. I've said this many times on these Q things. I don't think it means getting rid of Israel. I think it means letting Israel know their new place in the world. The days of dominating with money and banks and military and in the industrial military complex, which they finance through the hilts for many countries, are over. Those days are just done. Just like the street lanterns went away when electricity was invented. Kerosene lamps. Remember them guys? They used to light them every night. They made a good living. Then one Monday, they didn't have a job. And I feel like that's what's happening in the Israeli deep state right now, and ours as well. That's the part people forget. I think America has been shredding its own deep state problems this whole time. And I do see an alliance of nations at the end of this that we could have never imagined. I can see Israel, Saudi Arabia, UAE, many of Egypt, all at least going, look, we have our own cultures, but the hating is over. Like, we're in control now. The radicals on every side, the Catholic Church, the crazy Muslims, all these controlling lunatic religious zealots, just gone. Just go back to the desert, go back to your woods, up in the hills in this country, wherever you live. Just shut up.
So I highly recommend anyone out there who hasn't done it, just type in Iran to the QAG website and just kind of go through and look at some of the posts. Can I just throw my screen? I have to go here soon. I just want to just throw my screen up real quick.
Can you zoom that from your end, Adel? Can you zoom in on that?
Yeah, we can.
Even more so if you could. Yeah, it's really hard. Go ahead.
Yeah, so there's a few things here. Like, first of all, how early they're talking about Iran, going all the way back to 2017. And this isn't even the first post. I think the first post is maybe, I think it's 39, right? But anyway, Uranium One, I think CA is Canada, EU, Asia, Iran, North Korea, Iran deal. Why is this relevant? Reread drops, North Korea, Iran. Then they have the why, right? What does it mean to be covered in gold? Which couple was photographed covered in gold? The public release was a mistake. Who released the picture? Who has all information? What does it mean to be covered in gold? Can you locate one other pic, right? So it's getting into this, like this is the picture here.
Yeah.
Which is, I believe, the Rothschilds. With there's your why. And Duppy was doing really great work on this. If you caught any of the recent presentations I did with him.
That dude's amazing.
Yeah, so here you have it. Like they covered. So they're getting into like the Rothschilds, the bloodlines. They're tying this to Iran and like the global nature of the control. Here's another one, early one, 299. Rothschilds, cult leaders, church, banks, financial institutions, worldwide government control. Government controls people, Saudi Arabia, oil tech, sex, children. It gets into all this stuff. It brings in the pyramid again. And it mentions Iran somewhere in this post as well. Yeah, right here. The about the Iran, the slush funds, personal net worth never reduces. Think DOJ settlements, consumer, Iran, environmental pacts, etc., etc. So here's another one that gets into like the esoteric nature of this and Iran at the same time.
Yeah.
So 2011 shuttle program terminated by Hussein. U.S. loses space dominance. Iran nuke deal, right? And then you go down, gets into Eye of Ra, left eye symbolism, you know, and all of this stuff, like ancient stuff. So there's a ton of things kind of speaking to the bigger picture here. And as far as future proofs past, like it says today, evil lost control, leverage of Iran. This was back on 5/8/2018. Like Q said, you know, we've already taken control of Iran. And it says, ask yourself, why is UK, France, and Germany involved, right? Why is the EU so upset about us doing what we're doing in Iran? They should be, you would think they'd be really happy about us removing the biggest sponsor of terrorism on their side of the Atlantic. But for whatever reason, they don't like it. They don't want to help. They keep speaking up against it. And there's a bunch of these, and I just picked a few that, you know, that kind of paint a picture here, but you're getting everything from like globalist financial power structures to like the esoteric occult, like satanic worship, going back to symbolism from ancient Egypt, for crying out loud. So the rabbit hole is so deep. And I think even the best of nons really probably only understand a fraction of it, you know, because it goes back so far, and it gets into all kind of really weird ancient religious and cultish things. Like that's what fascinates me more than anything. Yeah.
Well, listen, I firmly believe this, that power throughout history has just moved. You know, ideology is what keeps people growing. Whatever you believe in is what you do. So even if back in those days, the Egyptian days, go back to Babylon, it doesn't matter. When those ideologies fell, those people just left, and they took their riches with them. They took their gold. Then they went to other areas, and they had power and money, and they just changed the way people lived there, you know. And then when you add religion into it, and the control that brought, and the call to war that brought, you then know that these powerful people use the religious zealots and finance them to fight their enemies. Mm-hmm. And when they get everybody fighting, they sit back and go, okay, let me take the money out. Who needs what? And the country fighting that country goes, I need tanks. They go, there you go. And the other country goes, we need missiles. They go, there they go. And you guys owe us that money plus you know, interest forever, by the way, not for 10 years, perpetuity. You will pay me in perpetuity. I mean, it's just spreading the Roman bloodlines all throughout Europe and different. I mean, Germany is Rome. If you follow history, that's where it landed. The Germanics collapsed Rome, and then the Germans fed England, and then the Franks came. Like, this is history. It's not. It is not a non-stuff.
Yeah,
it's crazy. You think about it. You think about all these different wars and people conquer each other, but yeah, there is still that thread that goes between it all. You know,
and that's
the current
deep
power.
State. Yeah. You know, we call it the deep state. They used to call it a pharaoh or an emperor or whatever. I mean, you know, and when you really start getting into weird history, like the Chinese history of their dynasties, you know, and what they attempted to do, and how the same problems of bloodline in the Chinese world that went all through China.
Yeah.
And they wars and tribes. I mean, we act like that the world was the world for 20,000 years. No, it was a warring. Half the world, for the most part of it, you were in such danger.
Yeah, but you think that's what you think about, like people falling in and out of power and wars being lost. But there is that the real power was behind all that,
Without a doubt.
and continues on to this day. You forget that it goes that far back, though.
And with those high elite families, Adel, I think you'll agree with this. They were able to take knowledge to other areas where people were living in deserts and these places that had nothing, and they educated these people. These people thought, oh my God, they're amazing. They taught us how to add. They taught us how to get clean water. They taught us how to bathe. So they're controlling gods to them.
Yeah.
And Adel, listen, man, God, I could talk to you for 10 hours, bro. I know you got a million things to do. Congratulations on your beautiful new child. Congrats to you and your wife, man.
You look very well rested for having
good,
a new
buddy.
child, man.
Well, I guess we're breaking the news here. That wasn't something I'd put online, but thank you.
Oh my God! I didn't know that.
It's all good. Don't worry about it.
I'm so sorry, Adel.
No, it was gonna happen eventually.
Oh,
so.
I feel bad being the guy, but kind of cool too.
Yeah, it's all.
Man,
it's
I'm
all
so
good.
sorry, man.
It's all good.
Know.
It's all
I
good.
didn't know.
But
We can
thank you.
delete that part out of the show if you want afterwards. Man.
Don't worry about
All right. Listen, dude, you're seriously, man. I know you treat this like a hobby now, and the bridge is going to start very soon, Adel. And I can't wait to have you on it, man.
Anytime you want, man. I'm always happy to come hang out with you guys. And I want to have you guys back on again very soon.
Yeah, I'll make it this time, bro. Man. I'll make it this time.
Yeah.
We have both been on it separately. You realize that?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
On show separately.
I do know.
We have to make it happen together.
Yeah.
And
I
also,
went. Oh, go ahead, buddy.
I was gonna say I went and I watched. You guys have Howie Spangler on from Ballyhoo, and absolutely every second. I'm a big Ballyhoo fan. I love that whole.
Are you
reggae.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Oh, dude, Howie's a good friend, man.
Yeah, I've been listening to them since like 2006.
And you're up in the Steeler world, right? Like that's your area.
Yeah.
Next time they're in that area, dude, you let me know, and I'll make sure you got. Hopefully, maybe even get to meet the dude if you're a fan.
Yeah, dude.
He's that much of a friend. So
yeah. How I love all that Maryland reggae that's come out of there, man.
There's a lot of great
There's
stuff.
a lot of rock reggae that's come out of Maryland.
Oh,
man.
no
There's
doubt.
a lot of guys touring right now.
Bumpin' Uglies, Joey Harcum.
Yep.
Man, Adel knows his stuff.
All our
buddy.
boys.
Yeah. Matt knows all those guys.
Yeah.
Yeah. Awesome. Very cool.
Well, listen, buddy. Enjoy your life and thank you so much, man. And sorry for breaking that news. I feel so bad, Adel. I didn't mean it. Anyway, buddy.
You're all good.
When is your next show, Adel?
In 2 hours.
2 hours. All right.
We'll let you go, bro.
We've got him linked in our description. So go follow Adel right now and send him some money for the baby today. Will you?
Yeah, please, everybody donate to Adel. Thanks, bro.
It's all good. Thank you guys so much. Yeah, 412 Productions is the channel if you want to follow me.
Yeah, as well, right?
Yeah, pilled.net. That's really the best place to watch, but I know most of your audience is on Rumble. I'm over on Rumble, 412 Productions, or on X. I'd love to earn your follow on X, 412 and on 87 over there. So Mickey, Matt, you guys are the best. Thank you for letting me come on and do this with you. And we'll have to get you guys on.
We're honored, Adel. So thank you kindly, man.
Yep.
All right,
we appreciate you.
See you, man.
See you.
Look, no Rambo today, so go over and check out. If you usually watch Rambo, go over and watch Adel today.
Yeah, Rambo just said hi. Look at that.
Shout out Rambo.
Just to say great show. Man, look at us, dude. We're almost like the big time here. You know what I mean? We're almost at the big guy table.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we've got all the big guys on our show is what we should say, right?
Yeah, dude, this is ridiculous. I said this the other day. Imagine you're a rookie on the baseball team, right? It's your first game, first season, and your first game, all the vets, the MVPs, the all-stars come to you after the game and they go, hey, listen, we're all going to dinner at this place. You can go.
Yeah, that's what it feels like. You're right.
It's unreal. Look at Rambo. He's just giving all that
Thank you,
love.
buddy.
God.
We love you.
Rambo is off on Mondays. No show today. So we were going to rate him, but that would be boring, right? Everybody just sitting there looking at his logo for 2 hours. That would suck. All right, buddy. Great
We're coming
show.
back tomorrow with Truth or Tinfoil at 12 p.m. East. So join us for that, please.
And we are off this Wednesday. Matt has are you allowed to say what it is? Or do I?
I'm going to my daughter's graduation.
And it's a big deal, right?
Yeah. I wouldn't miss it.
No, why would you? I didn't miss any of my kids' graduations. Only one of them graduated. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I didn't graduate.
You
Matt,
have very smart kids.
Did you know I never graduated?
I think I did know that.
Yeah, I never graduated high school.
That's all right. Look,
Clearly, you people can see it.
Self-educated, right?
Yeah.
So were a lot of our founding fathers,
yeah, so
right?
was
And
Charles
presidents.
Manson.
So was Abraham Lincoln, right?
Oh, yeah, that's going to be me. I'm going to be on Mount Rushmore. I'm going to end up on Mount Mushmore. That'll be my tribute. Hey, buddy, great show. Adel is amazing. I could literally talk to that guy.
I know, man. It's amazing. Go follow him if you're not already. We got all his stuff linked in our description. So
And
do that.
Yes, we'll see you
Smash
guys
the
tomorrow.
like button.
Yes, please. Let's see where we're at with likes. Did we get close at least? We
Where
did
are
it, bro. 525.
We made it over 500, so thank you. That's usually our daily goal right now.
By the way, if you love the show today, please type a 1 in the chat room. If you didn't like the show today, there's a button up top that has a red X. Go ahead and click that and never come back. No, I'm kidding. But if you liked the show today, throw up a 1. That would mean a lot to us. All the comments help.
Also, if you're watching this show and you haven't followed us yet, that would help us tremendously. Would you go ahead and smack that follow button?
Yeah, the follow button is everything.
Follow and the like. If you do both, you'll give us extra love today.
Wow, there was a 2. Dre.
Yes.
Dre, our mom. By the way, Dre, we love you. We haven't talked to you in a while, and we're going to. We're just nuts. You know that. I've never met a lady like Drea. It's not just shows up every day. It's the greatest ever.
Amen.
Everybody, thank you. Wait, I got a Pebbles line here. Mickey, your hair reminds me that I need to go mow my lawn. I hate that bitch. I'm kidding. I love her.
All right, we'll see you guys tomorrow, 12 noonies for Truth or Tinfoil. Hope you guys have a great rest of your Monday.
Bye, everybody.
Enjoy. Oh, we're not doing that. We're going to do this.
Welcome to the show, man.
Thanks, everybody. See you soon.
Mickey and Matt, yeah, they're cranking it up. Joking down theories like a hyperactive pup. Rambo Joe lit the fuse, Dave said take control. Now we're broadcasting live above the rabbit hole. Ancient aliens, lizard kings, government plots and shadowy things. Laughing while they're chasing the truth in the dark.
Are we crazy? Sure, but that's the spark.
So smash that like button, buckled in tight. We're going down deeper than a Q drop tonight. Tinfoil shining, the jokes are rolling. Hold on, folks, the truth is scrolling. Yeah, smash that like button. Welcome to the show. We're live above the rabbit hole. Mickey's on the mic, dropping jokes like bombs. Matt's taking notes while he's reading the Psalms. Bigfoot, chemtrails, the man in black. Whatever you believe, they'll make you laugh back. Was it real? Was it staged? Was the moon landing fake? Ask the boys, they know the code. Or at least they'll improvise an episode. So much for staying above the rabbit hole. They dove in head first, no parachute. They just let go from 0 to adrenochrome real quick. Mickey yelling, these people are sick. Hollywood elites are fucked in the head. Liberals losing their minds, eating paint chips full of lead. Nobody gives a shit about Nancy Stupid Guthrie. That whole story's fake and gay. It's pure horse fuckery. Media needs to focus on the Epstein files, exposing the pedos with the creepy ass smiles. The fuckers eating babies in the secret lair. Shoot them in the face, I don't even care. Stealing the elections, ballots in the dead of night. Dominion machines flipping votes left and right. Corruption, central lobbyists buying laws. Politicians drifting while they clap and applaud. Pockets lined with cash from all the fraud. Says that like button, like a madness roll. Welcome to the wild side above
rabbit hole.